Hey everyone, it's Kai from Kool Collectibles back again for another review. This time it's the Sideshow Collectibles 1/6 scale Luke Skywalker in his X-Wing pilot outfit. For all your 1/6 scale figures and more, click the link in the description below to head on over to Sideshow Collectibles. They ship worldwide, so definitely check them out. Alright, it's been a long wait for this figure, and I guess this was a pretty controversial figure in that it was probably one of the first few figures from Sideshow that was really pushing the price point, probably almost exceeding that of Hot Toys. And I guess the main selling point for this figure is ultimately the head sculpt, because otherwise he pretty much comes with not much at all. So the price point being around $240, which is in a lot of cases exceeding Hot Toys' standard 1/6 scale figures. And so I guess the anticipation was how good Sideshow could make this head sculpt, and honestly I have to say that it is still not up to the standard of Hot Toys. So I'll get to that shortly, but I'll quickly go through just the box. So this is the exclusive version, which I don't think the exclusive is all that great, to be honest. So the standard sort of box, so nothing really special there. The exclusive, now I can't actually remember if the exclusive is just these gloves or also includes these ungloved hands. I'm assuming it comes with the ungloved hands and the gloves that you can put them in. So you just put them in there, and I guess it's him holding the gloves. But as an exclusive, no, it really doesn't do that much for me, and I would have thought they'd include something like that by default. There's not much else that he comes with for the $240. I mean, it doesn't even have a lightsaber, a droid communicator, or something. The Hot Toys Luke Skywalker that I'll be getting in probably about 9 days or so, to 2 weeks. That has a whole plethora of accessories for about $10 to $20 less than this one, with a better head sculpt paint application. So pretty disappointing with what you get for the price. It comes with 3 other, I'll just get this guy out the way. It also comes with 3 other fists. So it comes with 2 fists, closed fists, and this sort of open hand. I'm not sure why he would bother using that sort of pose. I'm not sure what he's trying to do there, but they've included it. And you'll notice that it's not the full gauntlet, it's pretty much just the glove, because the glove and the gauntlet is a 2-piece, but I'll show you that in a second. It comes with the helmet hair. So as you can see, I did swap over to his normal hair. It comes boxed with this and the helmet on, but I figured I'd take it off and start without it. So you can see here the moldings just showing the hair that's sort of revealed, but nothing too fancy to write home about. So that's the back. Sorry, I almost thought that was the front, but that's the back, and this is the front. But nothing too fancy. The helmet itself is not too bad. The weathering is pretty much on par with, I guess, the Sand Troopers of their past, and it's not too bad. It's got the nice sort of dirt wash on it. I guess there's been a whole bunch of comments on whether or not the symbols and the weathering and so on is accurate to the movie. These black lines, outlines of the rebel symbols, etc. I'm not particularly that anal about it, and it did sort of chop and change through the movie from the screenshots that I can see. But overall, it does look pretty good. The visor, you can sort of bring the visor down. It's on just like a little sliding mechanism on the inside there. So when he has it on him, you can put that on, and I'll show you that in a second. But it pretty much just separates out. So the first thing you do is lift off this top part, if I can. So you just lift that up, and so that's just sort of molded in there. So you can see the top half of the helmet. So there's just these grooves for the bottom half to fit in, and that probably gives you a better look at the sliding mechanism there. And then the bottom half is in two halves. So this chin strap is actually on one side with a magnet, which I think is actually very nicely done. I do like that design. On this side it's just sort of strapped in, or yeah, pinned in or something like that, and on this side it's just on a magnet. For this voice communicator thing, I would I would recommend being very careful of that. It's sort of on a flexible sort of bendy wire thing, but it is pretty delicate, so just be careful you don't snap that off. But the helmet, you then just separate out these halves, and that sort of gives you an inner look at the thing that surrounds the ears and pads out the helmet on the face, and on this side as well. So no, overall not too bad a design for the helmet. And of course, before I forget, it comes with a standard base, hexagonal base this time. I'm not sure what that base is supposed to represent. It doesn't even have a Star Wars logo. I would have preferred just the black one like the TIE Pilot, but I'm not sure if that's the floor of the hangar or something. I've got no idea, but that's pretty much the stand. But I'll grab the figure again and give you guys a look at that. Alright, so the head sculpt, that's probably what most people are interested in. And overall, I think the sculpt itself is actually really good. It's a nice sort of young representation of Luke Skywalker as he was in Star Wars. So I don't think the sculpt is the issue, but again, it's the very, very flat and lack of detail in the paint application that is pretty much the root of the problem. So as you can see, this hairpiece is a separate piece, so you can't lift it off, and it is very, very tight, and I would risk rubbing off the paint, I think, so I'm not going to try it on camera, but you probably do need to warm it up and separate it out a bit. But the Sideshow paint seems to be pretty hard wearing. It doesn't rub off as easily as the Hot Toys one, but I think the Hot Toys one has that additional sort of freckling effect, as I've mentioned in past reviews, that just gives it that added bit of realism. The skin tone on the Luke here is just very, very flat. There's no sort of added texture to it that I can see. There's the odd sort of dots to sort of bring out the moles on his face, but other than that, there's not much detail there at all. The eyes, they're not as big as I think the Django Fett and one of the other figures that I got recently, where the eyes, the Hoth figures, the eyes looked quite large. But on here they don't look too bad. I guess the main issue for me, I thought Luke had blue eyes, and on this particular figure they look more hazelnut or brown, light brown to me. So I'm not sure what the Hot Toys has. From photos that I can remember, I think they had blue eyes, so that's a bit disappointing for me. The fact that it's a separate hairpiece and has that gap, I don't think is too big a deal. So that's pretty much it. The detailing in the hair isn't too bad. I think the Hot Toys has probably got a bit more, refined molding on the front to give it a bit more texture and detail, but it's not too bad on this figure. One thing I'm probably going to mention, the sort of shadowing around his eyes. I've seen some photos on the web posted recently where he really does look like he's drugged out or something. It's like he's got these rings around his eyes, and I think it's all down to the lighting and the way the shadow falls over his eyes. So if you see on certain angles, he looks pretty damn good in terms of those panda eyes, but in other shots he starts looking a little bit worse for wear. So I'm just be wary on how you, futz and pose him around. The other note, I have seen people on the forums and so on complaining about some of the flashing on the chin area or the neckline. I've got a bit of that, and it is a bit unsightly, but it's not too bad. Some of the photos I've seen on the web are probably even worse than mine, so you can see a bit of there just on the jawline there, but I guess that's pretty much hidden when he's looking forward, so not too big a deal for me anyway. But that's probably enough on the head sculpt. Other than the head sculpt, I think everything else is pretty much spot on, and I do like the rest of the figure. The outfit is very similar to the TIE Pilot that I reviewed just only a couple of days ago. I do have it right here next to me, so I'll just move that over. So you'll see, I'll just zoom out, so the material on the orange outfit is pretty much the same. Most of the patchwork is identical, apart from a couple of extra pockets on the knee areas, which are not on the TIE Pilot there. So you'll see these pockets there. A few variants on the side of the shoulder there. But overall, the design is pretty much on par with the TIE Pilot. There's not that much weathering, but it doesn't look as clean as I have seen it show up on photos. In hand, there is a very slight sort of dirt wash to it. It probably could have been done a little bit more just to give it a bit more added realism, but it's not that sort of bright orange that you see in a lot of the photos on the web. So in hand, it does actually look a lot better. And similarly for the white sort of vest area here, similar to the Scout Trooper, it does have like a yellowy sort of dirt finish to it, like a sweaty finish that it probably doesn't even come up on camera too well at all, but in hand it does look quite nice and weathered, so I can't really complain about that too much. On mine, the chest box here is nice and centered and straight. I have seen some on the forums where it does look like it's almost rotated a few degrees, which does look a little bit wonky. But on mine, I guess the strapping at the back here is pretty much even. So I think you can try and adjust it if yours is a little crooked, but I'm not sure how easily that can be adjusted, and I'm not going to try and futz around with that too much at all now that mine is looking fairly straight. The cord here is more of a hard plastic cable, and not the sort of rubber of the TIE Pilot mask here, so that's pretty stiff, and it just hooks into the hole on the side there. So I might later on in the review, before I finish up, I might grab the Bosk figure as well, which I think the outfit probably fits more in line with that Bosk the design than the TIE Pilot. So I'll grab that a bit later. What else can I say? The strapping here is pretty good. It is fairly loose, so it doesn't hinder the articulation too much. And it is sort of nicely all handled together, so it must go up underneath, because I can see a little bit of a strap go up underneath here, so I'm not sure if it just sort of sewn onto this white vest somehow, and sewn on under here as well, and just attached through that strap there. So overall it does look pretty good. The boots, the moulding in the boots is pretty much on par with the TIE Pilot. It does look quite nice with the moulding and that leather look. There's not much softness to it, so you can't really pose it too much. It's pretty much a hard sort of plastic there. I think the TIE Pilot one was a bit softer. This strap here, I always thought it was on the right leg, and just looking at photos it seems to change from leg to leg, so I'm not sure which is accurate or not, but the strap here does look like it's sort of pegged in and fairly secure, so I'm not going to try and take off the boots or anything and swap it around. I'll I'll just live with it on the left leg there. All of these little, I don't know what they are, extra ammo or something along those lines. They are all sort of removable, so just be careful they don't fall off and you end up losing them. So you have some on the side there, some on the back, and as you can see they're sort of starting to slip out, so just be careful. And then these little, I don't know what they are on these sides, the tools or something, they're removable and you can just sort of slot them in the pockets there. So nice bit of detail there. It's got a very similar sort of patch. I don't know if that's supposed to be a comm link or just a badge or some sort, but it's very similar to the TIE Pilot one, and it's done fairly nicely. So other than that, that's pretty much it. So I do like the outfit. The belt and this area around the waist is probably a bit more wider than the TIE Pilot here. So I was saying before, the TIE Pilot has that sort of belt that pretty much cinches it on the waist area to I guess, you know, make the waist a bit too thin, but it doesn't. It's not too noticeable in hand. But I would have preferred if the TIE Pilot had looked a bit more like this. But other than that, that's pretty much it. This bit here at the top is not velcroed or anything. I think there's just a black zip in there, so you can probably futz that and try and close up the black area there. But other than that, that is pretty much it. Doesn't come with much else. So what I'll do now is I'll just take off the hairpiece and swap out to show you what it looks like with the helmet on. Alright, so here he is with the headpiece off, and once you get it off, I mean, I'm still debating whether or not this head sculpt is painted all that much at all, to be honest, because underneath here it just looks like it's just unpainted plastic, and it's that sort of skin color is just the base plastic color. So it just looks like on the face they've pretty much just painted on these moles and so on, and maybe added a bit of paint detail on the lips and the eyes, but everything else is pretty much just sort of the same plastic colored skin texture. So yeah, that's probably explaining why there's not much skin detail at all on the sculpt. So I guess another reason to be a little bit disappointed in the way they turned this out. But with that off, all you pretty much do is grab his other hairpiece, which I've lost. Hold on. Alright, here's the other headpiece. So you can see it's got the little peg at the front there, which pegs into this strange little indentation on his forehead. So I'll try and do that. So you pretty much just slot it in like so. So he looks like he's had a bad hair day. And you just make sure that sort of sits behind the ears and so on, like so. Excuse the band-aid. And essentially what you do then is put the sides of the helmet on and then the top of the head back on, I think. So I'll just do that and give you guys a look at that. Alright, so when you put the helmet on, just be careful to align the chin strap first, because once you put the sides on, you're not going to have room to get that strap back in there. And you'll notice that this side has this little grey piece, which essentially sits in that little indentation there. So you pretty much line up the chin strap underneath and put that in its indentation on the back there, and then essentially line up the holes on the side and squeeze in like so. So you sort of get the idea there, and I'll just sort of tighten it up and put on the top piece. Alright, so here he is with his helmet on. I probably haven't futzed the chin protector there, that it's a bit crooked, but other than that you can probably futz around with that, and then you can somehow get your fingers in there and pull the visor down. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. Might just come down on its own. No, It's not gonna it's not gonna happen. Oh, there we go. Right, got it. So there you get a feel for what he looks like with his visor down. So overall it doesn't look too bad like that, but I will definitely be posing him with the helmet off, just at least to try and show off the head sculpt and the ungloved hands. So that is pretty much it. I'll finish up by just grabbing Bosk. Hold on. Alright, so I've swapped over Luke back to his unhelmeted hair, and he's just holding his gloves there and the helmet. So I guess he does look pretty damn good in that pose, and that's probably the way I'll keep him for a while. Nothing to complain about really with that. The Bosk here, I was a bit mistaken before. The suit is actually quite different in its design. The material is pretty similar, but the overall sort of patterning and so on is quite different with its stitching and the patchwork. And I have to say, the way they've sort of weathered Bosk, you can sort of see a lot of the black wash on the outfit. The Luke outfit probably could have benefited from that sort of application of weathering and dirtying up. They have, like I was saying before, they have done it slightly, but probably not enough to make Bosk here look pretty damn awesome. I still do like the Bosk outfit with all of the additional details and the little gimmicks and so on, but I guess the strapping and so on is very similar to the way they've done the Luke. So I'll just finish up with the TIE Pilot in this shot as well. Alright, so here are my Sideshow figures with the pretty awesome flight suits. They're all similar in material, but have their own sort of unique tailoring and design for the outfits. They do look pretty damn good. I guess with Luke overall, at $240, I probably can't fully recommend him. He does look pretty awesome in that pose. And if you do want the X-Wing pilot outfit, this is probably the best figure out there at the moment with that design. So, but I guess with the TIE Pilot only being about $200, I mean that's a significant difference in $40. I would definitely recommend the TIE Pilot over X-Wing Luke, particularly when the Hot Toys version, which is cheaper than this, is just around the corner. So depends on how you want your Star Wars collection to look and whether or not you do like these pilot outfits. They do look pretty good, especially displayed together like that. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you liked that somewhat rambling look at Luke Skywalker. Hopefully you can click that subscribe button and stay tuned for my upcoming 1/6 scale figure reviews and a few of the other Transformers and things like that I've got coming up through December. So that's pretty much it. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.